Yeah, so I nearly died. So I'm very ill, and I just got out of hospital last night. So as such, I won't be able to do very much except rest until this whole thing is down to a more manageable level. So I just wanted to be open with everybody about what's going on. I didn't want to be before, except in private with a few people, because we didn't really know what was wrong or how serious or anything it was. So, obviously this is going to impact my capacity for work, my presence on social media, my ability to promote things, everything for a while. At least another week they want me to be kind of totally resting and so on. So I'm asking for help because I don't want Whitechester to lag too far behind. A few people have already offered and come forward, but I'd appreciate some help with promotion and getting that done. So I find it very hard to just do nothing, but it might be easier if I know that some other people are helping me out. I will compensate you for your assistance if we sort anything out, but I won't be spending too much time on work or producing videos or doing much of anything else until I'm fairly consistently better. So if anyone was hoping for me to have some sort of come to Jesus, road to Damascus moment from nearly dying on any topic, I think you're going to be sorely disappointed, because as much as possible I live my life without compromise, and at the end of the day the only person you have to be able to live with is yourself. So that kind of philosophy means that even big events like this aren't really going to change me that much. I know who I am and what I believe, and so nothing much is going to change there, even if I won't necessarily be quite the crusader I once was. We still don't entirely know what it is that I have, but the main suspects are kidney damage, even though the huge battery of urine tests and so on they've done don't seem to show much of anything. I suspect that Winchester Hospital may be overrun with pea vampires. That may be the reason why they want so much of my piss. I can't think of any reason why anyone else would. So it might still be kidney damage, but it doesn't look too serious, and may actually be a result of what's wrong with me rather than what's wrong with me. Another possibility is my endocrine system. There's no sign of any tumours or growths or anything so far, but it may be related to my anxiety, which would basically mean that my endocrine system, my thyroid, and my adrenal gland might be kind of stuck in overdrive related to my anxiety. Kind of thing that's normally a mutant superpower, but in real life sucks ass. So I still need an MRI scan. The reason I'm home is because they thought it would be more restful for me and help bring my blood pressure down and keep it down, and because they don't do the scans over the weekend. That whole shortage of helium thing, they try and keep a very strict schedule. So I need to go back in this coming week at some point for an MRI scan. I've sent a jug of pee off but it's just kind of generic advice. Few lifestyle changes. Diet's not bad really, maybe a bit too much sugar, maybe not quite enough potassium, but we eat quite a varied and healthy diet. I started exercising again when this happened, so maybe exercise is causing the problem. But yeah, so far from all the tests, everything they've checked seems clear. They did a bladder scan, they did x-rays of my thoracic area. I'd previously had a CT scan of my head that was clear when I had the sinus problems, which, as it turns out, may be related to this blood pressure issue. Yeah, they've basically found nothing particularly so far. Probably should have talked about this in a different order, but okay, here's what happened. Due to COVID, I haven't been in for any eye tests or anything like that while all of this has been going on, because I didn't want to go out and, I could struggle on squinting with the older glasses that I have. So I went into the optician, and the optician started doing more tests than I was really ready for. And as time ground on, it became more and more, something's not right here. So I asked them, and something was distorting and damaging my retina, and I had hemorrhaging in a lot of the blood vessels in my eyes. This is called papilloedema. You can look it up. And it suggests a long-term problem with your eye pressure, which can be caused by high blood pressure or high cerebrospinal fluid pressure over time. If it goes untreated, you can go blind, which obviously I was not too keen on. And it also tends to be a indicator of something else going on. So I was rushed to hospital as soon as possible, which turned out to be several days later, because they're still rammed with COVID patients at the moment and a bit stretched. Into the ophthalmic section, some horrible burning eye drops, some more examinations and tests. Tested my eye pressure, too high, tested my blood pressure, and then immediately rushed me onto the ward and onto blood pressure medication, because when they tested my blood pressure, it was 240 over 120. Normal blood pressure is around 120. I forget what the second number is, but yeah, it's not twice that. I think it's 120 to 140 is in the normal sort of area, and anything above 120 is actually high. So yeah, 240. On the ward they tested it and it spiked at 260. Oh my God, is not what you want to hear from nurses when they're being briefed on what's going on with you. So yeah, the world record, for anyone who's interested, is 340. So didn't quite make the record. So yeah, they poked at me, prodded me, jabbed a whole bunch of tubes into me. Bear in mind, during all of this, I felt absolutely fine. It wasn't until they started administering drugs that I felt ill. But yeah, intravenous diffuser in my left arm, bunch of monitoring stuff for my heart and so on. Automatic blood pressure tester thing on that arm. Yeah, it was not a lot of fun. It was very worrying, definitely very triggering to one's anxiety, shall we say, which doesn't exactly help your blood pressure. The first drug they tried made my whole body numb, and waves of this weird sort of creeping skin feeling. Severe side effects. It did bring my blood pressure down, but a bit too quickly, which is also dangerous. So they switched me off that drug, put me on a second drug that made me profoundly nauseous, where I could barely drink water or nibble on the hospital food, which was actually pretty good, to be honest. So I ended up nearly throwing up my own toenails because of that. Then they put me on some anti-nausea meds intravenously as well, and gave me the second medication in pill form, which doesn't make you quite as sick. So that got my blood pressure down from that 260 peak to around 140 to 160, which is not good, but better. And then it gradually crept down with a few spikes generally when they were testing me and so on, more. But I'm in not a safe zone, but I'm in a safer zone. So yeah, I very easily could have had an aneurysm, an embolism, a heart attack, any number of things could have happened to me. So I was nearly transferred to the intensive care unit, or when it spiked at 260. So that's how serious it was. I'm not gilding the lily or being hyperbolic. I very easily could have died. So I've got to take this seriously and make changes and make sure I rest and recover, and I hope everyone will be understanding of that. There's a lot of turnover in the ward I was in. I think I was the only person who was originally there who was still there last night. Lots of older men, smokers, drinkers, who ended up needing stents and all kinds of, all post-COVID, which was causing problems with their vascular system. So yeah, cut down on the drinking and the smoking, guys. It's really not good for you, because everyone else coming through there, including some younger guys, yeah, it was the drinking and the smoking that was really doing them in. Did have one arsehole in a neighbouring bed. Fortunately, everyone else pretty much was cool and okay. He was a bit of a John Bull, a bit Brexity, a bit insulting to the nurses. Me and another patient had a quiet word with him, diplomatically saying that we would prefer it if he didn't cause trouble because of our health issues and that he was making them worse. And so he kind of begrudgingly shut up. But nurses are great. And even in these post-Brexit times, there were a lot of people from a lot of different places, and they're all amazing. And so my heart goes out to Winchester Hospital staff. They were good. They were great. And to everyone who was so supportive of me while I've been in hospital. And I hope I don't wear that out. That don't cause compassion fatigue. I am unbelievably grateful to all of you for all the positive messages and the support. I don't think I'm going to name anyone specifically, because if I start doing that, I'll miss someone out, or someone will feel left out or overlooked. But it's very easy for me to feel like everyone is against me all the time. Everybody hates me. Everyone believes all this bullshit that goes around about me. But excuse me. But you know, I do my best to be a good, upstanding person and to help people out, even if I don't trumpet it all the time. And it's nice to see some of that karma paid back. So you know who you are, and I love you all for caring so much when I often feel like some sort of meat pinata for people to just beat on. So really, I don't know how to express how much I appreciate all the positive support and messages and everything I've had. If I haven't replied, it's just because I'm trying to minimize my online time, because it can be a source of stress, and to prioritize when I do go online just little bits of work and looking at cute animals and sexy ladies. So, yeah. So I nearly died. I'm not going to be particularly available for a while. I need some help. I still don't know what's wrong, but I thought it best to level with everybody. Sang.